It seems I must live a little longer, though I know not if it is God's mercy or the king's whim. Madam, perhaps it is Providence, more time to pray, to prepare, to steel your courage. Steel my courage, you say. I fear the steel is waiting for me elsewhere. Yet I shall pace, lest my legs forget how to stand upright. Kingston, the constable, noted her mixed moods in his letters. Calm one moment, trembling the next, she spent the day in prayer. My dear friends, I shall have to endure one more day of your company. Make the most of it, for tomorrow I fear my audience will be rather more, brief. Madam, I dare say the scaffold has no taste for jest, but we shall laugh none the less. Then laugh we must. A queen may fall, but she need not lose her wit. She knelt again to pray, asking for strength, forgiveness, and for her daughter Elizabeth's future. Outside, the Tower guards whispered that the king's ministers were uneasy about the delay. The storm seemed an omen, or a brief reprieve for the condemned queen. One more day, one more dawn to see the sky, to hear the birds, to remember, and to steel my heart. The day meant for her death stretched long, filled with quiet humor, prayers, and the bittersweet camaraderie of her ladies. The scaffold still waited, but not yet. Anne Boleyn spent the night of May 18th without sleep. The storm had passed, but her mind raced with fear, prayers, and memories. The day meant for her death had been postponed, yet now the morning of May 19th brought the inevitable. The scaffold awaited. I have not slept, dear friends, yet I feel no less the weight of what is to come. Let us rise and meet it with courage. Madam, the hour grows near. Shall we help you prepare? Prepare, yes, though I fear no gown or comb can soften the sharpness of the steel waiting for me. Her ladies assisted her in dressing. She wore a gown of black damask, trimmed with white fur, and the famous bee necklace gleamed at her throat. Kingston noted her calm demeanor, though her hands trembled as she knelt to pray. O Lord, receive my soul. Have mercy on me, and grant me strength to face this day. Madam, we shall stay with you until the end. Stay, yes, but I fear my legs may take me faster than my heart wishes. One must walk like a queen, even to the scaffold. Breakfast was simple, eaten mostly in silence. Her thoughts turned to her daughter Elizabeth and her brother, recently executed. She murmured prayers for their souls, asking God to protect the child she would never embrace again. My Elizabeth, be strong. Your mother's courage is yours now. Finally, Anne rose, her ladies guiding her through the narrow tower corridors toward the scaffold. Every step echoed the gravity of her fate, yet carried the unmistakable dignity of a queen. I go to die a queen. Let the king see that even fallen, I hold my head high. And so Anne Boleyn emerged from the tower, the morning mist curling over the moat, the scaffold waiting beyond the walls. History held its breath, for the Queen's final hour had come. While the tower awaited Anne Boleyn's arrival at the scaffold, King Henry VIII remained at Hampton Court. His morning began as usual, with prayers, council meetings, and the management of state affairs, yet the shadow of the day hung over every action. The Queen is to die today. Let the Tower see justice done, swiftly and without disorder. Courtiers noted his restless pace through the halls. Letters and messengers arrived constantly from the Tower, reporting Anne's movements, her prayers, and her final preparations. My lord, the Queen prays and walks with composure. She seems serene. Serene, perhaps. Let her keep her serenity for heaven. Here she answers only to the king. The king dined lightly, attended by his closest advisers, yet spoke little. His mind wandered to the dynasty, to Elizabeth, and to the son he still hoped for. Courtiers noted that even his humor was tinged with tension. Remarks that might have once caused laughter now sounded sharp and brittle. A crown is heavy, and a queen's fall heavier still. Let all see the law upheld, and the king remain unshaken. Throughout the day, Henry maintained appearances of control and authority, issuing orders, receiving ambassadors, and inspecting troops. Yet behind the grandeur and ceremony hung a hint of a man haunted by his desires, his decisions, and the consequences of the crown. Ensure that all know this day is just and swift. No disturbance, no pity. The king's will must prevail. While Anne Boleyn walked toward the scaffold at the Tower, King Henry VIII carried on at Hampton Court, poised, commanding, yet tethered to the fate of a queen he had once loved.
The scaffold awaited. A platform of wood, stark and unadorned, stretched across Tower Hill. The morning sun glinted off the armor of the guards, and the crowd pressed close, murmuring in anxious anticipation. Anne Boleyn stepped forward, her black gown flowing, her bee necklace gleaming, and every eye upon her. "Behold the Queen, calm as though to a garden walk. See her eyes, steady, proud. Can she truly be guilty? God help us, and have mercy on her soul." Anne mounted the scaffold with dignity. Kingston and her ladies accompanied her, though the weight of her fate was felt by all. She spoke softly, clearly, addressing both the crowd and her own conscience. "Good Christian people, I am come hither to die, for, according to the law, and by the law, I am judged to die, and therefore I will speak nothing against it. I am come hither to accuse no man, but I pray God save the king, and send him long to reign over you, for a gentler nor a more merciful prince was there never, and to me he was ever a good, a gentle, and sovereign lord." She removed her headdress and let her hair fall about her shoulders, a final act of humility and courage. Anne spoke calmly to those around her, her voice carrying to the crowd below. "I pray you all, bear witness to my death, and that I die a true queen of England." The crowd watched in silence. Even those who had awaited a spectacle of shame could not deny her bravery, her intelligence, and her composure. Her courage, so visible that day, inspired whispers of admiration, even amid sorrow and fear. When the sword fell, Anne Boleyn's mortal life ended. Yet her spirit, her wit, and her resilience did not die. Through her daughter, Elizabeth, she would live on, a legacy of strength, wisdom, and determination that would shape England for decades. Elizabeth would rise to become the most famous queen in English history, the child of a mother who had faced death with unbroken dignity. And so Anne Boleyn passed from the Tower, from history's stage, yet through Elizabeth her courage and intelligence would echo for generations, a reminder that in death a queen's spirit can never be silenced. It is done. The queen has met the king's justice. Courtiers noted that Henry's expression was unreadable. Some saw relief, some a shadow of regret, yet no outward display of grief or guilt appeared. The king went about the duties of the day, hearing petitions, reviewing letters, and inspecting troops, but his thoughts were clearly with the Tower and the woman he had loved, feared, and condemned. "My lord, the Queen is no more. Let it be so. England requires order, and the king must see it maintained." His humor, once boisterous and commanding, seemed muted. In private chambers he paced and reflected, as if calculating the next steps for the kingdom and for the dynasty. Yet a flicker of tension betrayed him. Anne's courage, her intelligence, and the way she met her end could not be forgotten. "In shore all know that the law is upheld, and yet there is no queen but me. Let none mistake mercy for weakness." And so Henry VIII carried on, the crown secure, but the memory of Anne Boleyn indelibly etched in his mind. As England continued, the shadow of the queen who had dared to defy and charm him lingered, a reminder of the cost of ambition, love, and power.